In the shadows of the old library halls, where the dust is thick and the silence calls, books tell stories of the things unseen, of foxes wild and spirits keen. Whispers in the stacks they creep, ghostly chills that steal your sleep, paranormal truths no one believes. They linger here like autumn's leaves. Bibles open to verses dark, stories written to leave their mark. The wildlife outside hears the moans, silent foxes, the forest groans. The last of these you cannot tame, a history buff who knows no shame. Paragon life outside hears the moans, silent foxes, the forest groans. The past of beast you cannot tame, a history buff who knows no shame. Paranormal tales in every spine, haunting truths that cross the line. Whispers in the stacks they creep, ghostly chills that steal your sleep, paranormal truths no one believes. They linger here like autumn's leaves. Spirits waltz through moonlit air, books fall down as if to dare. Foxes howl in the wooded shade, they guard the truths that time forbade.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here for Friday Night Ghost Stories. Now, before we get into things, let me do a shameless promotion for my new series. I'm sure you've heard about this. My new series of videos I'm preparing, which will be about history. So excuse me. What did I do with it? Anyway, I will find it. But in the meantime, let me say hello to everyone. Hello, Zelda. Hello, Tommy Stiggs. Hello, CG2. Hello, Jimena. Good to see you. Bill C is in the house. Magooch is here. Delilah is here. Gianni Catalano in the house. Excellent. Excuse me. Magooch. I said hello to Magooch already. Tammy Thompson is here. Ryan Breen is here. Great to see you all. Thank you for joining. So, in case you haven't seen the promo, I wanted to play it for you. But first, I have to get rid of my intro here. There we go. All right, let's see what we got here. Now, like I said, this is going to be an upcoming series of pre-records, and this is what it's going to be about. there you have it. So a little dramatic stuff. Never hurt anyone. So I hope you enjoyed that. And let's get our show started right now. So as you can see, Lenny is here, Victor is here, so is Edgar. We're all hanging out and ready to go on this chilly, very, very chilly evening. It's in the teens outside here right now. Very cold, and I think we're going to get some snow possibly tomorrow in the early morning hours. We shall see. But this is winter in northwestern New Jersey. It wasn't on screen? What do you mean it wasn't on screen? Why wasn't it on screen? What was happening then? Nothing? That's pretty annoying to say the least. All right, well, what can I say? I don't know what happened other than I hate StreamYard. All right. I don't know why that is. Doesn't make sense because the intro played. I don't understand why that wouldn't play. Doesn't make any sense to me. Oh, whatever. So anyway, well, I guess I could go to my actual website. I mean, I can go to my YouTube channel itself and do it that way. But is it even worth it? Is the question, right? Let's see here. So hold on a second here. So if I do this, you see nothing on the screen? There's nothing there. Just confirm this. There's nothing here. No, not think there. Okay. All right. I don't understand why. All right. Can you see this? Can you see the paranormal intro? Oh, so it does say CapCut. You can see it. All right, hold on a second here. Hold on. I don't understand why that happened, but let's try it again. But there probably will be no sound, though. That's the problem. If I play this, there's probably going to be no sound. Yeah, because there's, yeah. This is the same way I play the paranormal videos. So you probably only can hear my voice. You can't hear the intro or the background music for the intro. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. All right, that's why that happened. I don't know why you couldn't see it the first time, but now I understand why you couldn't hear it. All right. Well, what can I say? Let's do something else. Let's remove this. And let's get to our stories. Anyway, so the idea is that these will be pre-records. I'm thinking pre-records because they need production. So I have to do them. I have to work on them before I can play them. But I was wondering if I should just do them as a premiere or whether I do a live show on history and start out by playing these episodes and then having you guys that are there react with questions or whatever after I play the episode. They're not going to be very long, they're going to be short. So I could probably do that. I could probably play the episode, the Unspoken History episode, in the beginning of the show and then have you guys react to it afterwards rather than just do a premiere, because the premiere would be short. The premiere would just be the length of the video itself and I could be in the chat, but that would be, I think that would be too short. I think I'd like to hear your reactions, if you have questions, you have thoughts, that type of stuff. So I think, yeah, Johnny, I'm thinking Sunday, but I think it would be live now. I'm thinking more I think about it. And Zelda that sounds cool. Zelda said able to chat about it would be good. Okay. Tammy says sounds cool. Okay. Bill C says that too. Great. Okay. Excellent. So that's the plan. Then I'm gonna once I produce these. I haven't produced a single one yet, unfortunately, because I haven't had time. But I will, and when I do that, I will put up a thumbnail for a live, and then we'll start out the live with the episode, the pre-record episode, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. Okay, that'll be the format we'll go with. All right, Delilah likes it. Hi, Gina. Good to see you. Tammy says that sounds cool. Okay, very good. All right, Todd Father is here, by the way. I didn't say hello to him. Hi, Todd Father. And Patty is here. Hello, Patty. Good to see you. All right, let's get started with our stories. We have 4 stories tonight. These stories, I entitled this Early American History, or I'm sorry, Early American Ghost Stories, because they're old. And I don't believe I've done them before. And they're from various parts, from Maine to Mississippi to West Virginia to South Carolina. They're in different parts, 4 different stories, but they're all very old. That's the common theme here. And the one story that I'm going to tell you is the oldest documented ghost story in America. So it's not just a legend. I think it's a story that's documented that happened and had news coverage back in 1799, if you can believe that. So it's really old. And that's called The Ghost of Nellie Butler. I'm sorry, The Ghost of Nellie Butler. But we'll get to that one in a bit. I want to start out with the Greenbrier Ghost. All right. Hello, Gerard Cicelli. Good to see you. Greenbrier, honey, did you drop some pounds? Did I drop some pounds? Yeah, a while ago. A while ago. It hasn't, I mean, I would say, I've been like this for, I don't know, a couple months now, 3 months, something like that. Yeah, I dropped about 23 pounds since the beginning of 2025. I think that's probably what it is over the 2025 year. Anyway, so let's see. All right, so let's start with the Greenbrier Ghost. Now, the Greenbrier Ghost is a story that takes place in 1897. It's one of the youngest of these 4 stories. So all the other stories are going to be older. The 3 are going to be older stories, but this one takes place in 1897, and it takes place in Greenbrier, West Virginia. And the story is about a couple by the name of Shue, Shue. Now, Elva Zona Heisler Shue is a woman that is married to Edward Shue. And the background to this is that Edward Shue was not a nice guy. He did not have the best reputation. In fact, this was his 3rd wife, I believe. Elva was his 3rd wife. His first wife died under mysterious circumstances, and his second wife divorced him and left him for abuse on the grounds of abuse, that he was an abusive person. So we have Elva, and I have a picture of Elva and Edward, what I want to show you, so you get a good idea of who I'm talking about here. I thought I had it. Where did it go? Oh, come on. Why do I not have it here? Hold on here. Let me see something. What happened to it? Sorry about this. I had it here and now it vanished. Maybe because of all the things I was doing before with trying to play the trailer. So, Greenbrier. All right, here we go. Now, if I can get back to this. Here we have a photo of the lovely couple, Elva and Edward Shue. This was taken in 1896, I believe, a year before Elva is murdered, or Elva dies. And you'll see that she dies at the hands of Edward. Hello, Crumel. Good to see you. All right. Let's get done with that. Now, so on January 22nd, 1897, while Edward is out at the mill where he works, Elva's body is discovered in their home, lying on the floor of the kitchen by happenstance by someone who was delivering milk to the house. Finds her there sprawled out dead, and runs back to the town area of Greenbrier and sounds the alarm, says, "Where's Edward?" His wife has passed. So Edward, as well as the person that discovers her body, as well as the doctor, the town doctor, and the sheriff rush to the home. And as they enter the home, they find her lying on the ground. And Edward immediately runs and grabs her and is screaming and is hysterically crying at the loss of his wife. And he grabs her and he holds her and will not let go because of the sheer grief that he's experiencing at the loss of his wife. Now, at this time, Dr. Knapp is trying to examine her to find out if she is indeed dead. And he does this, and he decides that, okay, yes, she is dead. However, he also decides that there's no immediate cause of death that he could find. So therefore, he decides it's a heart condition, that it was a massive heart attack, that she suddenly died and she was sprawled out on the kitchen floor where her heart attacked her and met her untimely end. So she is, the next day, a jury is brought together as a death inquest. Dr. Knapp testifies, and it is ruled a heart attack, and she's buried. All done, over and done. But it's not over and done, because in about a week later, Elva's mother, who lives 15 miles away from this area, starts to get nightly visits by the spirit of her daughter, Elva. And she gets 4 specific visits each night The first visit she gets from Elva, she just sees her and she's trying to speak. The spirit is trying to speak to her, but she doesn't get it out, and before she vanishes. The second night, the spirit comes and begins to tell the story to her mother of what actually happened to her. And the story that she tells her is that she did not die of natural causes, that Edward was her murderer, and that Edward actually strangled her and broke her neck, broke her esophagus, and killed her. And then left her there, then went to work and set it up to make it look like something happened while he wasn't there. Now, the mother is distraught over this. The mother believes this ghost. This is her daughter. She sees the ghost visiting her night after night, 4 nights in a row. And she has this full story. So she decides to make her way to the sheriff, and she goes to the sheriff with this story. And at first, the sheriff doesn't believe the story. She is, he's like, a ghost. I don't believe in ghosts. This is 1897. We don't believe in ghosts anymore. But by the way, Elva's mother's name was Mary Jan. Excuse me. And so at first he doesn't believe her, but she is so vehement about this and doesn't give up to the point that the sheriff begins to at least open up an inquest because of these questions that you're now. And one of the things that convinces the sheriff to do this is the fact that Mary Jan was documented to have never been in the house that this occurred, never been in her daughter's house, because the background is that her daughter eloped with Edward, and she was unhappy about it, didn't want her to marry Edward because of Edward's bad reputation. So they eloped, and the mother refused to come and visit them. Now, however, even though she had never been in the home of Elva and Edward, she was able to describe to the sheriff exactly every part of the house and where things were and where her daughter was found exactly, because the spirit of her daughter told her this in these nightly visits. And this is what convinced the sheriff to open an inquest. And what does he does? He goes to the doctor, Dr. Knapp, Knapp, and begins to question the doctor as to exactly what he did to find and arrive at this conclusion that she died of natural causes. And what he learns is that the doctor really didn't do the full job. And the reason he didn't do this is because Edward wouldn't let him. Edward was putting on those crocodile tears, as someone just put in the chat. I saw that before, and was holding her head so tightly and crying, and that the doctor never got to examine her head and neck. The only thing the doctor was able to examine was, the heart and the body, and saw that there were no wounds on the body, but never was able to get to the neck and head because Edward did his best to just conceal it by holding her, cradling her, and preventing the doctor to do that. So the sheriff orders that her body is exhumed. And when he does that, another autopsy, or an actual autopsy, is done. And it's determined that the cause of death was exactly as the ghost described it to her mother, Mary Jan, that she was strangled and her esophagus was busted by this. So as a result of this, Edward is arrested and tried and is found guilty and is sentenced to life in prison, which is unusual because you would have thought it was the death penalty would have been something that was given. However, this was considered a crime of passion at the time, and there was some leniency in that he was only given, life imprisonment. And in fact, the townspeople were so unhappy about this that a lynch mob started. A lynch mob got together in an effort to grab him and hang him. However, the authorities were able to get him out of town before the lynch mob got to him. So he ended up going to prison, and he ends up dying in prison, actually, not very long after this. And this is all documented because in the trial itself, Mary Jan is allowed to speak on the record that how she learned the information was a visit from her dead daughter. And this was accepted by the jury. The judge had some reservations, but he allowed it in because, again, because of the accuracy of her account compared to those circumstances where it was documented that she never knew. She never had firsthand witnesses of the area of the house in question, yet she was able to parrot exactly what happened. So it's a pretty bizarre and creepy story that leads one to believe that either this woman was psychic or actually received a visit from the spirit of Elva, who wanted justice in the death of her in her death because she was wrongfully um, documented as a heart attack because of the craftiness, or at least he thought he was crafty enough, Edward, to outwit the doctor. But in the end, justice served, and of course, since justice was served, her ghost never really appeared again. Her ghost never appeared to her mother again. There was no account of that. No one ever saw the ghost other than the mother. So it's a ghost story of very limited means, but it's a powerful ghost story when you think about it because it actually translated into a change of the cause of death and the sentencing of her murderer, who would have gone free and went around his life without any consequences if it wasn't for the ghost of Elva Zona Shu, who visited her mother, and her mother had the gumption to come forward and make a case out of it. So there you have it. The ghost of Greenbrier, West Virginia, Elva Zona Shu. So there you have it. That's your first story. And it's quite an interesting story. And it's a documented story. There's a court case. And this is actually the only time in the United States of America where ghost evidence was allowed in a trial, ghost hearsay, because it was hearsay, right? Because it came from a secondary party. It came from the spirit, was allowed to go forward and ended up in a conviction. So an interesting case and a bizarre case when you think about it. All right, there was the Greenbrier ghost, number one. Yes, Lila, Elva definitely got her revenge. Hey, Fiendu, how are you, my friend? I'm glad you're up and hanging out a little bit. All right. Edward, you sneaky little man. Yes, he was a sneaky little man, and he had a history of being a scoundrel, so to speak. So I think that had something to do with it too. That had something to do with the authorities believing the fact that he might be the murderer because of this history of abuse to women. All right. Let's go on to number two. Now, number two is called The Gray Man of South Carolina. Now, The Gray Man of South Carolina is a story that originates from 1822. So it's pretty old. And obviously, I don't have a picture of the Gray Man himself because no one's ever taken a picture of him. But the story goes that the Gray Man of South Carolina was traveling in 1822, was traveling from Charleston to visit his fiancée along the coast, and was in fact caught in the middle of a hurricane and a storm. And he was on horseback, and he was going through the marsh to the island where she was. She was on Pauley Island, Pawley, Pauley Island. And in the midst of this storm, he was caught on horseback in what they called quicksand of pluff mud. They call it pluff mud. So it's a gray mud that acts like quicksand. If you get stuck in it, you sink, and it's very difficult to get out of it. So his entire horse was stuck in there, and he ended up sinking and meeting his demise, never getting to his fiancée because of this. So that happens in 1822. Now, from that time on, it is said, and there's countless stories of this, that every time there is a storm or a hurricane, particularly a hurricane, more so than just a general storm, but a hurricane hits Pauli, South Carolina, the gray man will appear on the beach. Now, the gray man spirit is a positive spirit. He's there to help. He empathizes what happened to him, and he wants to help others. So, this is what happens. The gray man appears. He is a young man. He's not old. He's a young man, but he's wearing a gray coat. He's wearing a gray hat. That's why they call him the gray man. And he's covered in that mud, that dried up gray mud that he met his end in. So he's this picture of grayness. And there have been stories over the years of people that encounter him on the beach of Pauli Island. And when they encounter him, it's usually the precursor to a violent storm hitting. And it is said that if you encounter him and you interact with him in a positive way, and all you have to do is wave to him, show him some kindness, you will be saved from the impacts of that hurricane. Your life would be saved. You won't die. And interestingly enough, your house will not be destroyed. If you own a house there, your house will not be damaged. Now, there's a specific tale in 1990 when Hurricane Hugo hit this area that a couple by the name of Jim and Claire Moore were walking along the beach just before the hurricane hit, and they saw a gray man with a gray hat walking the beach. They waved to him to try to warn him that the storm was coming. He turned, looked at them, and vanished before their very eyes. Now, the interesting part about this is that they were their house was the only house in that strip of houses that was not damaged by the hurricane. And they attribute it to their encounter with the gray man, that this blessing that he bestows went to them and protected them from the storm, from the Hugo storm, Hurricane Hugo. And this has happened since, like I said, since 1822. And people will swear by this. So if they encounter anyone that looks anything like the gray man, they're going to try to interact with him and try to be as kind as possible, because it will only benefit them. He is a good spirit. He wants to help them, and his blessings continue and help help those that he encounters survive the hurricane. See, I mean, the sad part of this is that he never really got to meet his fiancée, and the first account of him actually is from his fiancée. The first account of his spirit is from his fiancée, who said that he visited her shortly after his death to warn her of a storm, and because of that warning, she and her family were able to evacuate and survive the storm. So he's been warning people since 1822 about impending doom from these storms. So the gray man of Pauli Island, South Carolina, is a positive dude. He's out there to help. So hello, Angelique. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. All right, so that's number 2, the gray man of South Carolina. Now, let us go on to our third story. Our third story is it's going to take place in a place called Deer Island, Mississippi. Now, for this one, I have a picture of the island at least, so you can look at that. And this is quite an interesting island. It's a barrier island out on the coast, the Gulf Coast, Mississippi, near Biloxi. And as you can see, it's an interesting small island with a very thin, long island, barrier island, and it has this white sandy beach, and in the middle here it has water. It separates some forestry here from the beach itself. So it's an interesting geological or geographical area. So But the story behind this has to do with a pirate. Now, this story takes place in the early 1800s as well. And the backstory to this is that around that time, there was a pirate who had a whole bunch of treasure on his boat, on his ship, or not his boat, what am I saying? And he comes in to Pauly Island in an attempt to find a good place to hide this treasure. And he does so. And he and his crew disembark. They bring their treasure on shore and they find a apropos location that is hard enough to find so that people wouldn't get it, but also that they would be able to remember and get it in the future. Now, throughout this time, this pirate captain had heard rumblings amongst his crew that someone was out to betray him and someone was out to look to steal the treasure for himself. Now, if you know anything about pirates of that time, the late 1700s, 1600s, and the 1700s, pirate ships operated much like a communal group. There was always an agreement. One person was the captain, but the pirates on that ship had an agreement that they would share in the treasure. That was always the case. They elected their captain for the sake of who would provide them the best chance of gaining wealth. But they would always get a stake. Everyone would get a stake. But this particular captain knew, or at least heard enough rumors that someone on the crew was plotting to steal the entire treasure for himself. So the captain knew this, and he set a trap to figure out who this individual was. Now, he figured, if I give my crew the opportunity to stay and guard the treasure for a while we take the ship on an errand somewhere else, whoever volunteers to do that, to stay here on the island by themselves with the treasure, is the traitor and is someone who's planning to steal the treasure. Hello, Hollywood. Good to see you. So he does that. He makes the proclamation to his crew. I need one volunteer. One volunteer to stay and guard and guard the treasure. And one person, only one person, volunteers to do this. So the captain thanks him and says, all right, everyone else back onto the ship. So everyone else makes their way back to the ship, and the captain is alone with this one crew member. He tells his crew, I need to give him certain instructions before I join you back on the ship. Now, what he does, though, is he tells the crew member that's staying, he's giving him instructions, tells him to, this is what you need to do, blah, blah, blah. And now I want you to start by going to make a signal fire that you'll light when the time has come for us to return. So that individual goes out and starts building the fire. And as he does this, the captain sneaks up behind him and takes out his cutlass and slices his head off, swipes his head off, right off. And the purpose was this, two purposes. Number one was that he knew he was the traitor by this, so he was doing away with him. And he also, at the same time, he professes a curse that locks this pirate's spirit here to guard the treasure for eternity, as long as the treasure is there. So he takes the body, buries the body, takes the head, hangs the head on a nearby tree, and espouses this curse that keeps his spirit there guarding the treasure. And it turns out that this curse seems to work, because this treasure is never found. But there are accounts of people that have come onto this island in search of this treasure, never to find him, but many accounts of encountering a headless ghost. Now, specifically, there is one tale of two fishermen in the late 1800s who come onto the island. They weren't looking for treasure. They were just on the island fishing, and they come across an area where they're going to set up their camp for the evening. They set up a tent, They start making a fire to cook their dinner, some fish that they had fished, they had caught, and they're going to cook their dinner. And unfortunately, they're disturbed as they're about to go to bed by rustling in the bushes. And this noise does not go away. So they decide they need to investigate. And what they do is they investigate, they go towards where the bushes are. And as they do this, out of the bushes comes a headless corpse. And when they see this, they drop everything in a panic and run, abandoning all of their equipment, and run back to the boat as the headless corpse chases them back to their ship, back to their boat, I'm sorry. And they get onto their boat to go off. And as they're going off in the distance, they see the corpse standing there on the shoreline, watching as if, watching them leave. So the next morning, they come back and there's no corpse to be found. They come back to retain their equipment, and they do so. But they also find a coin, an old Spanish doubloon that was centuries old in the vicinity, which was not there before. And they believe that this was part of the treasure that was disturbed inadvertently with this encounter with the headless ghost. So they just take their stuff and they go back and they never return. So that is the most poignant account of the headless ghost of Deer Island. But there have been many encounters over the years where people have said they've encountered this spirit, this headless spirit, right on the beach, not far from the beach, not far from the shoreline. At the part of the tree line. So an interesting story that goes back to the 1700s of a spirit that's cursed to watch and guard this cold that no one has ever found to this day. So that's the story of the headless pirate of Deer Island in Biloxi, off the coast of Biloxi, Mississippi. All right, so that was your third story for the evening. De Bloom, yes, De Bloom, Gold De Bloom. All right. Now, the final story, like I said, is the oldest story. Now, the oldest story. Hello, Grateful. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for hanging out. CG2, thank you for hanging out. I don't think I said hello to you before. All right. The last story is called The Ghost of Nellie Butler. Now, like I said, this is the oldest documented ghost story in America. Now, let me show you, before I get into the story, what we're talking about. I mean, obviously, I don't have any pictures of any of this stuff. It's that old. But I do have a picture of the town. I mean, this is where it takes place. This is Sullivan, Maine. And it's not far from this shoreline, the rocky shoreline of Maine, where this ghost story takes place in 1799. And it takes place in a house of Captain Abner Blaisdell. Now, unfortunately, that house is long gone, so I can't even show you a picture of what the house looked like. But you get the picture of this very Stephen King-ish Maine, foggy, creepy Maine coastline where this ghost story takes place. Now, the story goes that Captain Abner Blaisdell and his family, who lived in a house not far from where I just showed you, began to hear noises in their cellar. And these noises kept happening night after night. And they began to investigate it to the point where it was very disturbing, these noises that they couldn't account for. And as they investigated, eventually these noises turn into a voice that's speaking to them. Now, this takes place on January 2nd, 1800. This is when the voice starts to speak to them. This voice, this disembodied voice in their basement, in their cellar, begins to speak to them. And what this voice says is quite interesting because this voice identifies itself, and it states that it says, "I am the dead wife of Captain George Butler. My name in life was Nellie Hopper. I was 21 when I died giving childbirth." So this spirit, they don't see anything. They just hear this. The spirit is talking to Captain Blaisdell and his family now. His family are there too. I mean, this has become such an impact to them in their household that they all are encountering this and they're all listening to this. She says that she died in childbirth and that her child died soon after her death. And now, specifically, this spirit begins to concentrate on the youngest daughter of the family, who was 15, Lydia, and seems to be encountering and talking to her more directly. Now, this spirit was never hostile. This spirit was always very positive and very conversational, which is kind of interesting. It's a hand from beyond the grave that wants to talk, that wants to interact in a positive nature with this family. And the ghost, it turns out that the ghost. Now, I'm sorry, before I say that, Captain Abner Blaisdell knew of this death because this took place only about 5 to 6 miles away from where they presently lived. And it was news, that he knew the husband, he knew Captain Butler, and it was a tragedy in the area that this young couple, how the wife had died in childbirth. And so it's something that struck them deeply because they knew about this. And like I said, the father of this family, Captain Blaisdell, knew these people firsthand. So it struck him more so than just a random act that this happened. So now, as this conversations are happening on a day-to-day basis with the spirit, the mother of the Captain Blaisdell's wife begins to become suspicious, and she's concerned because not only is this ghost telling the story of her life, she's also making biblical comments, like she's reciting scripture too. Now, this struck them as odd, and the wife was a bit concerned that this may not be the spirit of Nellie Hopper Butler, but it might be a demon or some type of evil spirit that was just playing with them for some wrong, for some evil purpose. So what she decides to do is she starts to reach out to the surviving sister of Nellie Hopper, who was named Sally Wentworth. So she reaches out to Sally Wentworth, who also lived in the area, and gets her to come to the home in hopes that she will encounter the voice and either confirm or deny that this is actually her sister's spirit. Hello, Kelly. Good to see you. Bobo, good to see you, my friend. Thank you for coming in, guys. So Nellie's sister comes, and to everyone's surprise, the ghost speaks to her without immediately recognizes her and begins to speak with her. And Nellie gets to the point, her being being skeptical herself. She gets to the point where she confirms that this is indeed my sister's spirit. She recognizes the voice, and even more so, the spirit tells Nellie something that only those two sisters knew, a secret that they shared in childhood. And that convinces her once and for all that this is indeed the spirit of her sister. Now, so what ultimately is the goal of this sister? What is ultimately the goal of Nellie Butler or Nutley Butler's spirit? Well, Nutley, it turns out that the goal of the spirit is to convince Lydia, the 15-year-old daughter of this family, to marry her husband, her widowed husband. She says that she wants her husband to have a full life and and she believes that Lydia would be the best match for him. Now, at the time, 15 is still kind of young. 16, people did get married at 16, but 15 is a little young. But he wasn't that much older. He was 29, and at that time that was kind of common, I guess, for people to marry those that young, and for a second marriage for him, I guess it wasn't unheard of. So it turns out that in fact what happens is Lydia does marry Captain Butler, the widowed husband of the spirit. And now, in addition to this, now word gets out because of this encounter. It gets out and because of this, and people begin to flock to the house to encounter the spirit. And interestingly enough, the spirit is not shy. The spirit speaks to them. The spirit speaks to the people, and there's dozens and dozens of accounts from these people that have heard the voice of Nellie Butler. And in fact, after this, Nellie Butler's spirit actually materializes on the outside of the house. And it was said that this was, you could actually see the full body apparition of her, and that this was done because she wanted to prove that she could move outside of the house. She wasn't just going to be a voice in the basement. And she does this in front of 40 people, they say. And sort of 40 people witnessed the apparition of Nellie Butler outside the home. Excuse me. So getting back to Lydia's marriage to Captain Butler, that happened in August of 1800. So not very long after the first encounter of the ghost. The first encounter of the ghost was in December of 1799. And in 9 months, she was successful in convincing this family, and Captain Abner Blaisdell gave permission for his daughter to marry Captain Butler, and they do get married. Now, the sad part about this is that the ghost, before she vanishes, and is never seen from again, makes an unfortunate prediction to say that she wanted her husband and Lydia to have what time they could together, but it would be short lived, and that Lydia would join her in the afterlife not long after that. And it turns out that they were only married for 3 years when Lydia dies herself, dies at age 18, in the concept of childbirth, just like Nellie Butler did. And this wasn't to be a curse or anything like that. It's just that it was the spirit had the foresight to see the future or what have you. And when she told this to the family, the Blaisdell family, they said that the spirit was very saddened by it, but she wanted them to be together for the time they would have on Earth together. So it's kind of a bizarre story in that regard. How it didn't end out like this great happy ending, because Lydia marries Butler, but then dies herself in childbirth, much like Nellie died in childbirth. So it's kind of a terrible ending to the poor story. I mean, to a ghostly story. But this is a documented ghost encounter that was in the newspapers. There were journals on it, etc. And that, like I said, over 40 people testified per se, and I didn't go into a court or testify, but testified in writing, in word of mouth, that they had witnessed the ghost of Nellie Butler in one shape, whether it was the apparition or heard the voices, in that 8 month span, that 8 or 9 month span until they get married until Captain Butler and Lydia get married in August, and right after that, she vanishes and doesn't return. So it's the oldest story, the oldest documented story in American history, ghost story, and it began in 1799, and it's the ghost of Nellie Butler from Sullivan, Maine. So there you have it. And those are your 4 stories. You had the ghost of Nellie Butler, you had the Gray Man of South Carolina, you had the Greenbrier ghost, and then you had the headless ghost of Deer Island. 4 old, very old, original ghost stories from America. And on our 250th anniversary year, I thought it was a good idea to do an early American ghost story hour, so to speak. All right. New subscriber, Traveling Fools. Traveling Fools. Oh, okay. A new subscriber. Oh, we hit 5,000. That's great. Awesome. Thank you all. Thank you all for your support. Sven, how are you? Good to see you. Gerard Cicelli, good to see you. Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed these stories. Traveling Fools, hello. How are you? Thank you for subscribing. That's awesome. Thank you. You made us hit 5,000. That's awesome. Thank you. So those were your 4 stories of the evening. Traveling Fools, if you want to go back and look at, I got plenty of ghost stories. So go back and take a look. And when you have some time, and hopefully if you like ghost stories, I got plenty of them. Hello, Donna. Good to see you. Thank you. Thank you for all the congratulations. That's awesome. And hopefully we'll do some more stuff when it comes to our Unspoken History series that's coming soon. So let me see. Let me see something. While I have you guys here, and before I go into my paranormal videos, I have 3 paranormal videos I want to go over. But before I do that, I missed someone here before too. McHugh, Don McHugh is listening. So Don McHugh, thank you for listening. I don't think I called you out before. Let me see something here, if I may. Let me see if I may. Bear with me 1 second. All right. Let's see here. I just want to, if I may, play my trailer of the new coming series, in case you haven't seen it. I mean, Stiggs played it on his show, so thank you, Stiggs, for doing that. But just in case you didn't see it, I wanna play it for you guys real quick. All righty, where are we? Because I couldn't pull it up before for some reason. So maybe I can do it the old-fashioned way, if I may. Here we go. Let me see.
And events which you will never read in history books, lost in time and waiting to be discovered. Hidden truths, forgotten tales, revolutionaries, queens, slaves, and rebels. From the long distant past to events in living memory, here is Unspoken History!
There you go. There you have it. There you have it. All right. All right. So hopefully that worked this time. You could hear it and see it. So, now, Todd Father, if you want to come up, I know you're here. I will share the link before I get into the ghost stories. I'm sorry, the paranormal videos. Hold on. And I don't know if Asada's around. I don't know if he's been around or not. I haven't seen him in the chat, so we'll see. And Donna McHugh was here before. He said he was listening, so I don't know if he's probably not active in the chat, but he said he was listening. So. Get my films up here ready to go. All right. Let's get rid of this. And there he is. How are you, sir?
Yep.
What's happening?
I don't hear you, Anthony.
You can't hear me? Can everyone else hear me?
I don't hear you. I'll drop out and come back.
All right.
Wonder why that is.
Hold on. All right, everyone else can still hear me, correct? Yes. Okay. I don't know why that is. Thought Father couldn't hear me, but let's see. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you for telling me you can hear me. All right. Let's see if he comes back up. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's try this again.
Now I can hear you. I can.
Okay.
Yeah, that's weird.
Huh. Oh, well. It's always a mystery, right? It's always a mystery with these things. All right.
Yep.
All right. Let's do this. I have 3, not good ones, but whatever. We still got 3. So let's do it. All right. Here's the first one. Now, in this video, you are going to see it's a carport or whatever the heck this is. It's kind of weird looking, but you're going to see something come running across it.
And it just stops.
It just stops. It just vanishes.
It just disappears. Yeah, it just disappears. I'd like to think if I ever seen Thindu run, that's how he'd run.
Well, watch. It gets better though. Watch what happens. Now, this person takes out their phone and they're like looking around. What's going on here? What's going on? Now, watch what happens.
Oh wow!
Watch what happens.
And it's gone after. I didn't even notice the person there.
And it runs in front of her.
Oh, okay, all right.
Runs right in front of her.
Yeah, that's not a ghost. This is all staged.
Oh,
Oh, where did he go? Where did he go?
Yeah. I mean, this is in South America someplace. This was taken. This came from.
I think it looks cool as heck or whatever, but it's comical.
Yeah. And this person is so into their cell phone, I think that they don't see the person, right? And then they And I think it's just a camera glitch as to why it looks like this. I think it's a person coming running behind them, playing a joke on them or whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
And it just looks like a ghost because it's just the camera glitch. Because here,
But
this
do
is
they have like a flashlight or something? Like what is that?
the person sitting there.
Yeah.
I think that's the
That can't
phone.
be
That's
just a
light on a phone. I think that's just
what, the
light on the.
glare of the cell phone?
Yeah, I think they turn on their light on their phone to look around, see what's going on, because it's dark. Because it's imagine now, picture sitting there in the pitch dark, right at night, and you're looking at your phone. You necessarily wouldn't see someone running unless
You
you might
hear
hear
it. Come
them. You'd
on.
hear
It's
them.
right behind you.
You would hear them, but you wouldn't see them. So that's why they turning on. That's why this person's turning on their phone light to see if they
Right.
can
And
see
then
where the
then they
person is.
run then they
Right,
run completely in front of them and you don't see it.
like this.
That's just insane. We can make this. We can make our own video like this at your house. I don't think I don't know if I can run yet, but
Only if we
maybe
could
you
get
can.
Thendo to do the running. We'll get Thendo to do the running, then we'll do it. We'll reenact
We'll
it.
have to give Yeah, we'll have to give him like a gallon of Tim Hortons first, and then he can get his energy and run.
But you know what's interesting to me? Like, what the heck is this structure? It almost looks like it's like a dollhouse. You know what I mean? Like, look at this structure. It's kind of weird, right? There's like nothing on this side. It's like a thin wall that the person's sitting
It
in front of, right?
yeah
It's
yeah.
it's almost like a fake, like a false, like
It's
a
like
TV
a
set.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
movie.
exactly, a movie
Yeah,
set. I was gonna say
yeah.
yeah. Well, maybe it is a movie set.
It could be. Yeah,
Maybe it's
yeah,
a haunted movie set, and
yeah,
it's like an outtake or something. Yeah, that dude's in full sprint. Gone.
yeah. All right, so that's that one.
That's a good one. I like it. I'm glad you found that. That's a good one.
All right, how do I get out of this? There we go. Let's get out of that one. All right, now let's see what this one is. Okay. Let's see here. All right, this is a surveillance or like a ring camera, I guess a ring camera video.
Is that like a cat?
You'll see like a pair of legs walking past the camera.
I love the reenactment.
Oh, thank you, traveling fools. We're glad to have you. Join us. All right, hold on. Let's see. All right, enough with these commercials or whatever this is here. All right, here we go. Now it's somebody like walking back and forth. Well, actually, I think this is just they go back. They're like rewinding the film here, but
Let's say like sidestepping and doing like
yeah,
they're doing like the electric slide or the Cupid
yeah.
shuffle by
I
the
mean,
camera.
I think again, this is just a person walking by, and the camera, for some reason, is not picking up the full image of the person because you could see the head, you can see a face at one point, and then it's mainly the boots it's picking up on.
Yeah, and they are walking like forward. At first,
Yeah,
I thought they were like sidestepping or something, but
yeah.
yeah, they better dust off that camera lens.
And there's something wrong with the camera here because it's
It is creepy though, man. I
yeah.
will say that.
Now, here's why you could tell it's definitely not a ghost. You see that light directly ahead? That like it's like window
Yep.
light. As you can see, as the thing goes in front of it, it blocks it out. See?
Right.
It blocks it out. So it's not a ghost. It's it's a person. It's just the camera screwing up here. All right. So that one is easy.
Yeah, wouldn't that, if that was like a true ring camera or whatever, don't they record sound too?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, they do.
in the
Yeah,
original video, when you hear the footsteps, I mean,
you would think so, right? Yeah, there was no
yeah.
sound on that other than the guy, the stupid narrating voice. So I don't
You know
include the
what?
sound.
I gotta get with the times and buy one of these ring cameras. I can have some fun with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a ring camera, but I have like cheaper version, like I bought online at some that I installed on my front door. It's like above the front door, and it does have sound. So anytime it goes on, it records sound at the same time. All right. All right, now this is the last one I have here. This is out in the woods. It's supposedly, this is suspect in and of itself because it's supposedly a trail cam. But why is all this light? If this is a trail cam, why
Yeah,
is all this light?
it's got a 10,000 watts
Yeah.
spotlight on it. Sorry.
Yeah, unless they put a trail cam on their house, you know what I mean? I don't. It's this obviously someone's
Well, it
backyard.
could be yeah. Well, then you know what? It could be a motion detector light too, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe it caught something and then lit it up. Okay. Was it a sheep?
Yeah, I mean, I don't
It's
know what
white.
it's white. It looks like somebody that's like crouched down, almost like
Yeah,
running
but
from.
that thing's moving.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is
Yeah.
that
Okay.
it?
No, that I mean that's stupidity, but
Did
but
they
let's.
put that at the end of the video?
Yeah, they put that in there. That's stupid. Here, let's go back here. And this is going backwards. Let's start it from the beginning here. All right. So it like kind of darts. It darts from the all the way through the trees here. Um,
Whatever it is, it's moving.
yeah, it's definitely
Unless
moving.
it's like sped up. But
See, like you could see the leg, like the front leg, right? And it's almost as if the arms are swinging, right? And it's I don't know. This one kind of thing. I think this might be like it put in here. I think this might be fake. Like it might be doctored. I just
CGI or what do they call that?
yeah. It just it gives me that feel. It gives me a feel of like it's you know what I mean. It's just like
I don't even know. I can't even. I don't even know how you're making it out to be like a person with like crouched down, running. I don't see it.
you don't see that like right here. Like hold on
No.
here. Like right here. Hold on. Maybe this is better. Now look at this. You see that? Don't you see like the front leg? Like here's a front leg, and there's arm swinging.
It looks like a tooth running to me. That's what it looks like right now. Right there looks like a tooth is moving.
Delilah
Sorry,
says,
I'm
Delilah,
being
you
a
know what?
dummy. Sorry.
Delilah says it could be a deer. Yeah,
Possibly, be
it
it.
could be. It could be a deer. It's running at the speed of a deer.
It's the Kool Aid pitcher, the Kool Aid thing running.
Yeah, like if that is, that could be. Yeah, it might be the camera only picking up the front part of the deer. Maybe that would make sense. I don't know. That glow around it makes me think that it's fake. I don't know. It makes me think that it's CGI.
If I were to think, like they said, if I think it were going to be anything, it would be a deer because
Yeah.
they're just super fast like that.
Oh, Delilah does not think it's a deer. Oh, okay. All right.
What does she think it is?
I don't know. She said it scared me. Traveling Fool says it walks like the Grinch. I know what you're talking about, traveling. That's what I'm saying. It looks like the Grinch, like the crunch down, like crouch down.
Right.
I get it.
I have a hunch.
Yeah, I don't know. A bear, maybe. She said. I don't know. I wish I had one of those software that detects doctored films. I know they're out there. I don't have one. I don't have that, but I know that it exists. That you can run something through software that'll tell you if it's doctored. You know, whether it's CGI, whether it's AI, or whatever.
That's right, Gina. That's right. Told you.
A running molar.
Yeah, it looks like a frosted mini wheat right there. Looks just like a frosted mini wheat running across the screen.
There you go. There's the answer right there. See, right there.
Yeah,
That's what it
made
really
it
looks
to the very end.
like. So there you
That's
have it.
funny.
There you have it. That was it. That's all I had this week.
Where's our other
I don't
third
know.
here?
I don't know.
He's so worried about me not texting everybody today because I was actually working and productive in my life, and now he didn't show up.
Yeah, well, it's okay. He's busy, I'm sure. He's probably preparing for something for tomorrow.
Yep.
Um,
My daughter and my wife are watching a movie in my daughter's room. I'm sitting on the couch with my two dogs, and it's quiet. I don't know what to do with myself right now. I'm not used to this.
oh, you
Not
mean
used to
it's not
quiet.
your wife in the picture there with you? Like,
Yeah, I got pissed off at her at a party once, and I punched my hand right through her spine and out the back.
oh, yeah. You're
Yeah.
working the Greenbrier Ghosts husband then.
Yes. Yes.
Smoked her.
I knew about that story long before you, Anthony, and that's what I was inspired by. But tomorrow we have an event tomorrow at my job, and it's a sheriff's dinner and the Bills game. So
Oh, okay. Hey, sweet tea, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, we're supposed to get snow here tomorrow morning, which I don't like because I'm supposed to go to the Seton Hall game with my son. So we'll see.
how much snow?
Not a lot, 1 to 3 inches, not a lot.
Oh my gosh! Shut everything down.
No, but down here it
I don't
will
even
shut.
shovel my driveway for that.
No, here people will shut it. You know what I mean? People panic around here.
Yeah, no, I get it.
It's been like frigid. Today was so cold. I mean, it wasn't as cold as you get, but it was cold. It was, it didn't get above freezing at all today. And this morning when I left, it was 18 degrees solid when I left the house. So it didn't get up past freezing. So
Yeah, we've had a very very cold week here, and then Thursday we had or Wednesday going into Thursday I got about 8 inches at my house, and I think I was on Osada's show early in the morning, and so was Steendu showing off our accumulation.
mm-hmm.
But Steendu was complaining, so I had to go on and tell him to shut up.
Someone has to, otherwise he'll get too uppity.
But yeah, well, I'll tell you what, that snow sure didn't stop from going to get his coffee.
Of
So
course, no, nothing will stop that.
he complains about the snow, but he doesn't want to. He'll go through an infernal fire or a volcano to get his coffee.
Exactly.
So. Oh, that's a Broncos game, huh? Okay.
What's a Broncos game? Oh, the Bills game? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tomorrow. We'll see. I'm not saying one word to you or Hollywood because I know you guys are Denver fans, and I'm just gonna say let's hope they have a good game. Go Bills.
Wait,
So,
Hollywood lives in Buffalo, doesn't he?
he does, but if you see he's a Denver fan. Yeah, that's his avatar. It's like a Denver thing. I think.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I don't understand how these people live in Buffalo, grow up in Buffalo, but yet, they don't. They're not a. I don't know. It's like sacrilege.
Hmm. Well,
It's like people who eat ranch.
Yeah, but Buffalo's kind of like the Jets with the bad luck. Like they don't. You know what I mean? Like I get why people don't. Would not be. They might get tired of it. Get tired of the almost getting it type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's how could I say it? I don't get too crazy over the games just because of the disappointment and being a Buffalo sports fan.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I don't even like. I'm glad I'm working when the game's on tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be watching it, somewhat, but
Hmm.
What was I going to say? You live in Western Colorado, but your favorite team's the Bears. Huh. Yeah, I have
Oh,
a
okay.
friend who grew up in Buffalo, but yet he loves the Baltimore Ravens. I don't like when Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, they fell in love with them guys, and now all his kids are Baltimore Ravens fans, but yet they live here. It's crazy.
Mm. It
It's
also,
crazy.
I've also noticed that sometimes it happens when, in your developmental years, if the team is very good, they gain fans, right? Like, like when I was a kid, I was a Raiders fan because of the 76 Raiders. You know,
Right.
I was, 6 years old, and it was the greatest thing I ever saw in my life, right? So I was a Raiders fan, you know, and it just happens at a point in your life, right? You're watching TV, they're the in thing, and you become a fan.
Right. No, I get it. I
Hey,
grew up,
Slim.
like I said, I grew up a mile from the Bills Stadium, so I was done for from birth.
Oh, traveling. Good to
So
thank you for coming in. I really appreciate that. Come back. That's great. You host
yeah, and she said,
humorous paranormal.
yeah,
Okay. You host a human. He hosts a humorous paranormal show. We'll love to have you on one. Oh, sure. Let me know. I'll have to check you out. I never knew that. I will check you out. Everyone else, check out Traveling Fool Show. Um.
yeah. I just subscribed too. Actually, when I before I came on the panel, I subscribed to Traveling Fools.
Oh, okay. Cool. I will do that right after this. I will do that. Um.
Um, you married a Lions fan, yeah. So so there is I don't know what to call it, but I guess the Bills Stadium, the one that's in Orchard Park right now, that they've been playing, and they just played their last game in there a few weeks ago, was built on an Indian burial ground. And if you actually go to the back of the stadium, like toward like the woods, there is like headstones there.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's what, yeah. So they say that the Bills have never won a Super Bowl because they built on that ground. So now they went across the street and knocked down Erie Community College, or at least a lot of it, and
Mm-hmm.
they built this gigantic, huge, state of the art stadium. And they're saying that that's going to be what's going to lift this so-called curse.
Ah, okay.
So
Hmm.
yeah, so I don't know if that might be something you can
All right.
look
There's probably
into for
something
the
ghost
story,
stories.
but
There's probably ghost stories from that. So, are they playing in the new stadium now?
no, no,
Oh,
they're going to start at the next season. So yeah, so since it's playoffs and the Bills were a low seed or whatever, they're playing on the road
got it.
from for the rest of the
Mhm.
season, you know.
Yeah.
But um,
Okay.
so yeah, they're done there. So
Well, the whole thing with the Jets is the curse is Joe Namath, because Joe Namath promised a Super Bowl, and um, they say that he sold his soul to the devil to make it happen. And as long as he's alive, the Jets will never win the Super Bowl again.
what?
Yeah, no, you never heard that? Oh yeah,
I've heard rumblings, but like, where did he go down? Where did he meet the devil to do that?
Oh,
Like,
I have
I
no
mean,
idea. I don't know how it happened, but
yeah,
that's
that's what
the
I mean, though. Like, it's
yeah, I don't know. But that's how it goes. That's the tale. So,
yeah.
um,
So I mean, with the Buffalo Bills, I mean, Denver's a great team, and they got this tiny bit advantage with the altitude, that they're at.
mhm.
But this year there's no Mahomes, no Burrow, no Lamar Jackson, so this should be Josh Allen's year. But there's so many injuries on the Bills that it's going to be tough. I mean, there's a lot of good, the good new teams, I should say.
Right.
So
Well, it should be
so we'll
interesting.
see.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not going to get myself all excited and crazy for it because I'm used to the letdown. So,
Mhm.
but
Yep. All
but
right.
yeah,
Well, thank you for coming up. I appreciate it.
yeah, no problem. My pleasure as always. Yeah, have
And
a good weekend. I'm sure I'll be in touch with you over the weekend.
absolutely. And enjoy tomorrow, working hard, and hopefully the Bills will do good for you.
Yeah, hopefully. All right, guys. Bye,
All right.
chat. Bye. We'll see you.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. So that's it for tonight. We did some old ghost stories, 4 early American ghost stories that I hope you enjoyed. They were pretty cool. I liked them. You know, they weren't just run of the mill stories either. They were kind of in depth, a little bit more in depth than the stories usually are that I tell. So I thought that was fun, and we had a couple of laughs with the paranormal videos this week because they were pretty bad, but they were entertaining. So anyway, please like, subscribe, all that stuff. Like if you can, that's helpful. Become a member if you're not a member, all that good stuff. Continue to do that. Spread the word, build the guild. And we just made 5,000. So that's awesome news. Thank you guys. And look forward to the new series coming soon. The Unspoken History. They're going to be small videos, and what I'm going to do is play the videos in a live and then talk about them afterwards, and you guys can ask questions, you can comment on them, whatever you would like to do. So that should be fun, and I'm targeting Sundays. I don't know if I'm going to make it this Sunday. I don't think it's going to happen this Sunday, but that's the goal, is to do those on a Sunday evening. So it'll be fun, so stay tuned for that. And as always, I want to thank each and every one of you for spending some time with me. I think it's an honor. And as always, God bless and stay scared. Until next time, Lenny, Edgar, and Victor wish you the very best. Bye bye.